Yusuph, the floor is yours, and we've got a good captive audience here, so you have a good 45 minutes to take us ahead through some of these issues. A big round of applause, please, for Yusuph and his team. Thank you, Yusuph.
Good evening. I think to be the last speaker or the last panel, it's going to be a challenging job, but I think we're going to do all we can to make sure that you all get what we are planned to give it to you. So with me, I have good brothers from Helios Tower, Bruno. I also have my friend there, Sadra from Rwanda, and I also have my brother Stephen Wangwe from Ministry of ICT, and also my brother there, Shomari, from University of Dar es Salaam, UCC. I wouldn't want to speak a lot about them. Instead, I would want them to introduce and to tell us a little bit about themselves and what they do, and then we can start building questions from that part. So let me start with Bruno from Helios Tower. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and as you're explaining about yourself and what you do, you can tell us about, we have what we call critical infrastructures, and we have a lot of challenges on protecting this critical infrastructure. So you can tell us a little bit about how you think we can do better to protect our critical infrastructure. Yes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be part of this team this evening. My name is Bruno Faustin Kilatu. I'm the head of operation and maintenance at Helios Towers. As well, I'm responsible for the infrastructure, security, and the protection. So, as Yusuph said, since morning we have been discussing about a lot of the benefit we are getting out of these tower infrastructures. We have talked about e-money, we have talked about other economic activities, we have just talked about connections. So all these can be discussed unless we have discussed about availability. So as a tower infrastructure, we are responsible to ensure that our customers are getting service 100%. So once the service is available, it's now easy to discuss the performance, which we have done since morning, and other issues. So in terms of tower infrastructure security and protection, we have got a lot of challenges. And today I'll just mention three. Number one is identification of the black markets. It has been very difficult to identify this market, and as a result of this, we keep on losing items from the tower, which impact his service to our customers. Number two, getting enough evidence for laws enforcement. And the number three is location of the site. Some of these sites are located very far. Even accessing them is very difficult. So in times of theft events or vandalism, it takes a very long time to respond and fix. So this results again in prolonged outages, which impact our customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruno. I think from your point of view, what we need to do is to do what we can to collaborate further, so that at least we can be able to enhance the protection of this critical infrastructure and to maintain digital resilience. So when we speak about collaboration, at the continental level, what kind of cooperation do you think or do you think that we have in place, or arrangement that probably we have in place? And those arrangements that you're probably aware of, what can we do better to make sure that at least we can scale them up, on your opinion, Bruno?
Yeah. So what I believe, there is a very clear policy, but again, from Africa point of view, I believe there are conventions which the nations have. But what I'm suggesting that we can do to scale up this one and reduce the impact is to have very clear policy which can support preventing transportation of these materials outside the country. Because we believe some of these items which have been stored here, they are also transported outside the country, and it's difficult again to find them.
Thank you, Bruno. Okay, let me move on to a friend, Sadra, from Rwanda. Sadra, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. And I know that we've been working on a lot of community works, child online protections, and so forth. So tell us a little bit about yourself. And then as you speak about yourself, please tell us how should the organizations, government can do to enhance or to step up on protecting, on putting security measures in place, so that at least we can have a robust cyber security measure that we can probably feel more secured when we utilize these digital platforms and the connected digital world.
Yes, thank you, Yusuf. My name is Sadra Ilasubiza. I'm Rwandan. I represent a company that is named NetFella. NetFella means net, internet. Fera is a friend. We are friends of internet. So the idea, we got to the idea when 2021. We are friends just who were connected by internet, and they were like, what if we can form something which can just helps our community to know more about the internet. So as the idea came, we had just to build a capacity of ourselves before going to the community. So after building the capacity of our team, we started just to reach out to our local communities through different awarenesses. We've been just going to different schools. For example, Rwanda, 70% are youth. So we had a strategic plan when we reach to those 70% of youth, it's easy just to get to their parents. They can, if those students are educated about cybersecurity, we are secured that even the parents will know more about the cybersecurity thing. So as a NetFella, we have 3 main services: capacity building as a service, and also we do data protection compliance services. We have also cybersecurity consultancy as a service. We, as a NetFella, what we saw during those awarenesses and trainings and workshops is that people want to know more about cybersecurity, but they don't know how. What we do normally, we teach cybersecurity as an interactive topic, because when you talk about cybersecurity, people understand hackers. They think that it's this complicated thing, but it's not. Cybersecurity is at your home, is at a hospital, is everywhere, is even here. But if we have uneducated people about cybersecurity, no matter how resources we can have, we will not be protected. So as a recommendation, I would like to recommend that let's build capacity of our people then we also have a secured future of our generation. Thank you.
A follow-up question. I think when it comes to rising awareness, which we believe sometimes we do a lot of work on awareness, and unfortunately we don't really, we're not able to measure the impact, how we can change the behavior of people, how they can interact with technology safely, especially when it comes to youngsters, the kids today. I remember in Tanzania, February this year, we launched a big project called Child Online Protection, and we are looking at it in a way that probably we, within a year, we could be able to measure what we have done, to see the impact and so on. So on your opinion, how can organization, how can countries be able to measure the impact of this awareness that we do to our community, to our society, and be able to see the effectiveness of those awareness that we do in our community?
Thank you. It is also with policies. So on governance side, you have to have policies, you have to have all the measures that is taken just for these people. So after policies, then you have to educate, you're going to implementation plan. On the implementation plan, many countries have policies, have everything needed, just have good measures. But the problem is in implementation. On the side of implementation, it's not easy just to implement all those policies if your people are not educated. So again, what we found is that for government side, if those entities in government are not just collaborating, it will be so hard. So you need to have a collaboration between those entities, and also private and the public partnership must be there. The government cannot do that work just by its own. You have to partner with private companies, and also government have to collaborate. Intra-government organizations have to collaborate. Again, you have to do a regular risk assessment. You cannot sit there and think that you developed a policy and you have some measures in place, and they'll be like, yes, I did it. No, it's something that is regular. This cybersecurity thing, people take it the way it is not, but it's normal life, which is transformed into digital life. So if it is a digital life, the way we do it is that the way you get up in the morning, you go to work, you go to have a lunch, you come back to work, then you go home. It's the same as just on the internet. It's the same. But we take some measures on our normal life, but we forget just to do it on digital life. So if we have perspective that it's normal life, which is digitalized, so we also have to implement all those measures just with collaboration of different entities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother Sandra. Moving on to engineer Stephen Wangwa, another good friend of mine. Just like everyone else, give a little bit introduction about yourself, what you do, and as you introduce yourself, tell us, you were with us in Zanzibar last year. So from last year to this year, how can you tell us the emerging threats that probably we have observed for the past 12 months? You can probably share with us the emerging cyber threats that probably we are currently witnessing as a continent and world at large.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kileo. Yes, Stephen Wangwe, I direct the Communication Safety and IT Security under the ministry. And I would like to, I wouldn't go to what I do per se, because it would eat up my time. So I'll just go first to the priorities that we have, at least, and then I will go across the so-called threats that, or risks that have been happening in the past year. So talking of the direction that we want to go, first of all, we are focusing on ensuring that we put in place the protection of critical information infrastructure. I hear very well Bruno's cry, and I know you're representing a large group behind. And we have done some initiative whereby we have already prepared 5 guidelines, which are identification and management of critical information infrastructure, risk management of critical information infrastructure, data integrity and authenticity, how to audit critical infrastructure, and also how to perform disaster management, or we could say business continuity plans. So we already have stipulated the list of critical information infrastructure that will be gazetted, and we have been engaging our counterparts from the revolutionary government of Zanzibar, because fortunately the Cybercrimes Act of 2015 cuts across. It's both mainland and Zanzibar. So we have engaged them up to the level of their cabinet ministers. So after they give us their consent, then officially we will gazette the critical information infrastructures, definitely including communication infrastructures that Bruno was providing his stress on how they can be managed. So through the Cybercrimes Act, when you go to Section 28, it puts very stiff punishment on whoever contravenes or interferes with the critical information infrastructure. So through this clause, we will definitely put very stringent protection on the critical information infrastructure, and hopefully some stress that have been eluded will be taken away. Another part we have a priority in is developing the child online protection strategy. As you know, the child is vulnerable, but there are also different vectors on how to protect the child. First of all, we say when you give the child a smartphone or a device where the child can access the world, it's basically that you're giving the world to the child, which is very risky. So we are going to put together industry people, service providers, parents and guardians. There are so many features that are already available now, but most parents and guardians don't know about them. For example, if you talk of the parental controls, you can see them in every TV subscriptions, but also in most smartphones that come out these days. But again, we will push the service providers, for those who provide or allow content, to make sure they do filtering. But all in all, it's just a round on how to protect the child. So we'll be coming up with a strategy this year. We are developing it with all the stakeholders. We are also going to be reviewing our national cybersecurity strategy, which was established in 2018, but it just ended last year, December. So this year we are going to come up with a new one, which will take us for the next 5 years. But this one will also carry issues on artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and all the upcoming risks which we are seeing these days. I will talk of the cyber risks which have been for the last year, and you will see why we need to update our strategy. We will be ratifying the African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Data Protection, because as you know, we have the Personal Data Protection Commission, and we also have the law in place. But as you know that data, it goes across. The cyberspace knows no borders. So you can transact data from one point to another point. So ratifying the convention will put us in a better place to share information, but also to share support when we want to do investigation, or when we need some evidence from another country. It will be easy through the convention. And also recently, just by around 9th August, we had finalized and passed the United Nations Convention Against Cybercrime. That's under the United Nations, which now takes on board all the countries in the world. So here there's no zone, there's no region, it's the whole world. So this convention will be adopted in the upcoming United Nations General Assembly, and after its adoption, we are looking forward to ratifying it quickly so that we can take advantage of all the good things that it has. We are focusing on building capacity to our people in different categories, from the law enforcement agencies, but also along the, from the perspective of corporates. This is private and public. We are looking forward to build very, very special capacity to our people, but also we're developing platforms. We have noticed that there's a lot of issues on the phishing from the email perspective. So we are going to be doing some simulations, we are going to be doing some exercises to make sure that people are well aware on how to protect themselves. And talking about that again, as it was mentioned by Honorable Minister, we'll be observing the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and here we'll be going to different people. The focus, of course, is the general public, but we usually categorize into specific groups just to put the focus in place. We go to schools, we go to universities, colleges, even the private sector, but we use media so that we can reach the bigger population. Here I call upon stakeholders to extend your hand for support, because the theme for this year is Secure Our World. So secure our world, meaning that you secure it from all vectors, from your personal life, but from your people around you, your affiliates, your friends, your relatives, or your neighbors, but again, where your workplace, securing your workplace. Because I can say that I secure my phone, but my workplace, if I'm not careful, as a worker in the workplace, it could jeopardize the whole workplace. Another point that we'll be focusing in this year is the establishment of the National Security Operations Center, which, of course, is coming after the formalization or designation of the critical information infrastructure, so that we can be doing 24/7 monitoring and following up on everything that is happening to make sure that there is always service. So this is the real digital resilience. Service should be available all the time. So our team will be in the NOC there, making sure that everything is up and running, and we'll be having spokes in every organization. This is the public and the private sector. As long as you're listed in the critical information infrastructure, then you'll have a person who's supposed to be there all the time, so that we make sure the service is always available. We'll also be increasing capacity to our fellow law enforcers. This is in the terms of equipment, tools, and human resource capacity. Lastly, I would like to say, in the area of priorities, we are looking forward to make collaborations. These are collaborations within the country, but at regional level and at international level. So if you allow me some few minutes, I'll go to the risks that are ongoing. Moderator, am I allowed?
Then I think that you will answer later, Ron, because you spoke very well about something that I wanted to give you as a follow-up questions on the good job, or I could call the amazing job you have done for the past 2 years on awareness program, Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And I wanted to know how you think the industry, we have PPP, we need to collaborate with private sector, government sector, so that we can work as a team. I wanted to know how how we can forge this partnership, how they can be a part of this awareness month. And then after that, I'll move on to a short, please, how we can forge this partnership. Then I'll move on to my brother, Shomari.
Yeah, thank you. So, okay, we don't have a law or a guideline on how we can collaborate. It's basically, we are open for collaborations, so we expect open hand from the private sector. You can just extend your hand, and depending on which space you are, if you are a capacity building organization, we can see how we can make capacity building. But let's say if you are in platforms like our colleagues, SilentSec, we can see how we can make competitions. And if you are in the infrastructure, we can see how we can do awareness specifically for infrastructure areas. So there's no formula in such. It's open. We are open. So I'm just welcoming all the ideas and partnership, because we don't want to limit, like, we want to partner with you on like this style or on this area only. So it's open. Just feel free to reach out, and we are ready to collaborate.
Thank you very much. Then move on to my brother Shomari. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and I know you are on capacity building, and I'm aware that currently you are pushing the agenda of capacity building on cybersecurity to our government institution, private sector, and so on. So I think you can talk a little bit about that, but on top of it, I would love to hear what are the obstacles as you implement this very important agenda of capacity building. Then what are the obstacles? What are the challenges that you're facing currently?
Thank you, Mr. Kileo. My name is Shomari Mangando from University of Dar es Salaam Computing Center. I currently work as a branch manager for Dodoma campus. At our institution, we basically provide a wide variety of ICT services, mainly categorized into 4 groups. We have IT training as one of our ICT services. We have also IT infrastructure as another service. We have also software development and support as another service. We have also ICT consultancy as another area of our service provider. In terms of IT infrastructure, we provide IT infrastructure design, including configuration of servers, security of servers, and the management of servers for different organizations. On the side of IT software support, we basically develop software systems to provide solutions in almost 4 different categories, including educational solutions, financial solutions, healthy solutions, and in human resource and administration. On the side of IT training, we provide training in a range of IT services to our students, ranging from certificate in IT up to the level of diploma in IT. And on the side of ICT consultants, we provide consultants on a wide variety of IT systems based on the client requirement. Now, specifically on the side of IT training, we provide training to 2 different categories of students. The first one is long-term academic training, and the second one is professional IT training. On the side of long-term academic training, we offer up to a level of diploma in ICT, where our students are provided training that makes them to come up or to catch up with the current technological advancement. We have entered into collaboration with a Cisco Networking Academy as a global partner in IT solutions, where we get support on the side of communication devices and the software solutions that help our students to be able to manage, configure, and administer different solutions that we teach them so that they can be able to practice on the industry. But also, we have entered into a partnership with this particular educational provider that has incorporated cybersecurity courses into our academic curriculum in such a way that our academic students have a mandatory module that they have to cover when they study our ICT courses in these academic programs. That is on the side of IT training on long courses. But on the side of IT professional development, we are providing short courses in a number of different categories, but specifically on the side of cybersecurity, we have courses for cybersecurity, introduction to cybersecurity, cybersecurity essentials, cyber operations, and cloud security. Now, these services are provided to cater a variety of different groups based on the knowledge and the specializations of groups from their different background. For example, the introduction to cybersecurity is mainly for other people who are non-IT specializations, so that they get awareness on what are the basic issues to consider so that they can stay protected against any cyber attacks and crimes. For IT specializations or officers, we also provide training so that they become capable on how to handle technical issues that can help organizations to protect their systems against any cyber crimes and attacks. We have recently been conducting these professional courses to officers from different organizations within Tanzania, where we invited employees from different organizations. We take them and conduct training from practicing experts so that they get the skills that could enable them to prevent their devices and informations from being hacked by different external cyber attacks.
Very
Basically,
well.
that's what I can provide at the moment.
Very well. As I asked you a question, I said, what are the challenges currently you're facing or obstacles as you implement the ongoing project on capacity building, especially on cybersecurity? To be more exact, briefly, please.
Specifically for that particular question, the obstacles can be classified into almost 2 or 3 categories. One side of the obstacle is the awareness from different organizations to identify or to prioritize their human resources so that they can allocate their staffs and employees to come up for the trainings that we organize at our center. You find that you send invitations to different organizations, but the turn-up becomes very, very low. Another obstacle, we last year provided a free training to our students to come up and register for online training. But at the end of that particular offering, very few students turned up and showed for the training. So that means there is a lack of commitment from the community to understand the importance of cyber security awareness training that we provide. Now in this case, we needed to increase more efforts so that the awareness is built and spread over to make our community be aware of the importance of getting awareness training on cyber security so that they can help themselves to protect their devices, informations, and data. But on the side of organizations, we also needed to streamline ourselves in terms of putting our strategies and the systems so that we support the ongoing efforts in building the capacity of our people on the side of cybersecurity.
Thank you very much, Shomari. Actually, I can feel you that you provide the free, as you say, the trainings, and turn-up become very low, meaning people probably they're not aware that these things, how important they are. So this brings me to Sandra, if you can share your experience from Rwanda. Did you succeed on capacity building? Do people turn around in a large number when they get this kind of opportunities? And what do you think you have done better if that the answer is positive, or you feel the same, that you probably it's the same challenge like what Shomari mentioned? And if it is negative, that meaning you're doing much better, if you can share with us experience, how did you get to that point?
Okay. Thank you, Yusuf. I'd like to say that teaching people is not a one-time event. It's a regular thing. What I can share an experience. One day when we start at the beginning of these awarenesses, we had one week free training, and okay, it was an idea, and we were like, why can't we do 1 week training?
What was the turn-up?
Yes.
Was it perfect?
So we launched the event, we were like, let's do it. We were on the Wednesday, we were supposed to start on Friday, but we had 80 people registered in 3 days. We're like, what? It's something that we have to do. So people just have thirsty and hunger to know more about cybersecurity.
How did you get there? How did you make your people being that angry for knowledge that Shomari complained that probably our people are not that hungry?
Okay, for that, I don't know about the country, but our people, cybersecurity is everywhere, and it's something that if your people knows more, they know more about the danger of cybersecurity, they can also invest their time in learning how to protect themselves. I don't know if you don't have many cases in cybersecurity. People attacked you or attack. We can have some ransomware attacks. I don't know about social.
Very good. That brings me to Wangwe again to share with us emerging threats or cyber threats, because probably we have, but people are not aware. So I think you can share with us what are the emerging threats, what are the challenges that we experienced for the past 1 year.
So thank you. Well, most of the emerging threats are unknown to many. And this is just because of the nature of the threats that come around this time. But it's true that there are so many cases. Social engineering, issues of SMS phishing, issues of shoulder surfing, we see them a lot. And I'm sure most of us are witnesses to that. But there are other risks which are unknown to them, and I will just cover them very briefly. For example, the issue of data risks. So this is a risk that is embedded to the generative AI, whereby there are issues of error propagation, intellectual property and contractual issues, and sometimes, misleading or harmful content that is shared. As you know, it's the people who train the AI modules. So sometimes they feed the wrong information, and it operates according to how you feed it. But along these lines, people have already violated their privacy, because they ask the AI in a way that it compromises their privacy. Just that people are not aware that some point in future, someone will pull the database and will expose people. For example, some people are doing their research studies. Some people are doing big things which they claim they have the intellectual properties. But at the end of the day, when we do the big data analytics on where they got the information, we'll find that it has been a violation. But there are also issues of model and bias risks. As you know that most models we use, as we do not have much AI data from inside, from local, we get them from outside. So most of them are biased. So they have understanding of the exposed or the external context. So people get solutions which do not tie itself to the local context. But a very bad one is the adversarial attacks on AI, whereby they're in two parts, indirect and direct prompt input injections. And this is whereby the AI system is manipulated. And when you come tomorrow to use the same AI module, it will use the existing data. But already the existing data, they've put misleading information, and people could do this purposely. So these are the type of risks which are coming. But another one is also user risks, whereby the user, due to negligence or unintended consequences, they put in misleading information. And eventually, this will become effective because many people use it and it misleads a lot of people. But the last one is jailbreaking, whereby there are ethics and rules, but hackers now manipulate these rules. They do something called breaking large language model ethical boundaries. So through this, and some of us already are used to the AI. We are like, we don't even question what the AI would give us as output when we give the input. So in the long run, already a lot of risks are out there, but most people are not aware because of the way it is technical. It is to that level whereby most people are not aware.
Engineer Wangwe spoke a lot, Bruno now, Engineer Wangwe spoke a lot about AI, and I understand that artificial intelligence has significant impact in terms of protecting our critical infrastructure, in terms of protecting our data. It plays a big role when it comes to protection. It supports us a lot as cybersecurity people. On the other hand, the same thing can be used, as he mentioned it clearly, in a very bad way. We have seen deep fake of late. People can manipulate other people's voice, other people's movement, and so on. We have seen a phishing attack getting sophisticated more than ever before because of artificial intelligence. And if you add salt on it, Internet of Things, then 5G, the internet, the faster internet, then we are facing a lot of challenges when it comes to cybersecurity. A lot of cyber attacks are getting sophisticated. Now, to you, Bruno, what do you think? how can we utilize that AI in a positive way to make sure that it protects our critical infrastructure, it protects our technology, how people use technology and so forth. And on the other hand, how do you think this technology has been misused to cause a lot of challenges in our digital world? Bruno.
Thank you. Yeah, from my point of view, this is a new technology, and I feel there is a gap on knowledge. A lot of people have just picked it somewhere and they start using it without knowing the impact of it. For example, those people who are using GPT, they're sending a lot of information just to get the content cleared. But in lieu of that, the same information can be used against. So what I would advise is to have a very clear program to transfer knowledge either to the organizations or individuals, so that this new technology which we are using today can be of positive value to all of us.
So what are the impacts of that artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, the story of 5G, for example, the high-speed internet that we currently have? They impact a lot on our cybersecurity, on our cyberspace. So what are the impacts on this, the connection between this new emerging technology to cybersecurity?
Okay. Yeah, so for example, you are doing data monitoring remotely using the IoT sensors, and the people are misusing the artificial intelligence. As a result of this misuse, the hackers get in. This one can destroy all the informations which we are intending to monitor and protect our asset. So the misuse which you are having today can cause the hackers to attack us and they destroy all the information which you are having.
Thank you very much. I think what we need, it's clearly mentioned here that we have to enhance our cybersecurity awareness. We need to make sure that our people are equipped with knowledge of cybersecurity, to make sure that our people are aware and understand that they need to get a lot of knowledge on cybersecurity. And I think the month of awareness, which is going to start a few weeks from now or a few days from now, we are going to see it even bigger than what we have seen the past 2 years. The other thing that I picked here is that we speak about capacity building. I think this is very important. Why? Because I think even yesterday, our Mother President, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, mentioned very clearly that the threats, these cyber attacks, recognize no border. They are borderless crime with tremendous destructive power. They can bring down our critical infrastructure. They can cause, they can make us lose a lot of money in our banking institution or financial institutions. So what I would say on capacity building, I think we need to enhance, we need to do more, because I think, Shomari, you're doing something that I could call Azman Umur, an interesting thing that you're currently doing on capacity building, making sure that our people are equipped with current knowledge on threats that are currently facing us, the challenge that we are currently experiencing, and so on. So that capacity building also is very important. Collaboration, they spoke, I think, all of these people here, that we need to enhance our collaboration, not only internally through our organization within countries, but also cross-border collaboration. As I've said, these cybercrime are borderless. So if you cannot enhance collaboration with partners from other parts of the world, then I think the job will be quite difficult to deal with. And of course, I picked also the story of critical infrastructure protection. We now, for example, in Tanzania, we speak of Tanzania ya kidigitali, digital Tanzania. We speak of making sure that we talk of digital economy. We have SGR, which is automated fully. We have these sensors and IoT utilized in a wide range. So we are having a lot of challenges. If we may have a lot of challenges as a continent, as a nation, and so on, if we don't really put a lot of effort on protecting this critical infrastructure. So I picked that as well. So now, as I wind up my panel session, I want, starting far end from my brother Shomari there, can you share with us your final thoughts? And also, if you might note, you could also add what are the current ongoing program probably you have specifically on increasing capacity building on our people in our organizations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kileo, for your last question. Basically, I can talk about 3 components that are very important to combat the problems that we are discussing today. The 3 components involve the people, the process, and the technology. If we properly invest on proper technology, it could help us to a large extent on how we can be able to timely detect these cyber crimes and make appropriate action. On the side of process, we have in place a number of regulations, laws, rules that are used to monitor how our actions could be useful in making sure that we get protected on our information and devices. But the first P is standing for people, where on the side of people is where the issue of capacity building is very important. People with the right skills could be a very important resource to ensure that they ensure the protection of informations and devices at our individual level, but also in our working place. But also on the side of people, we need a commitment from the people. We also need people to be aware that they should push themselves to ensure that they do what is necessary to spearhead the government efforts in ensuring that we move the agenda of digital transformation in the right path. Now, the last component of how we increase the awareness, we've been doing a number of efforts currently to spread the information, our campaign, to increase enrollment on our students, but also we've been doing some collaborations with different academic institutions so that together we are able to spread the knowledge on how we can be able to protect our information systems and infrastructure. We recently have started a new program on vocational education in ICT that will be able to build the capacity of young generation to start acquiring the ICT knowledge from the grassroots when they complete their secondary education.
Is it on cybersecurity?
Yeah, it is ICT that will give them the skills that can be able to move forward to the cybersecurity specialization.
So specifically on cybersecurity, what do you do?
On cybersecurity, we basically continue to propagate our campaign to our existing students in the community so that they register to our existing programs that we continue to announce and advertise so that they get the training that we offer at our institution.
Your call?
My call is for the parents in the community to be aware and get registered whenever we announce this program so that they can benefit from the program that we announce on the side of cybersecurity.
Thank you, Shomari. My brother Wangwe. I think it's good to understand Shomari is doing a great job, and I really feel I have to say congratulations. What you're doing is fantastic, and I was lucky to be able to see what you do and how you're progressing. So a very good thing you're doing. So now, my brother Wango, quickly, I want you to give us your final thoughts, and as you provide us your final remarks or thoughts, then tell us a little bit. What do you think we can just tips? 1, 2, 3 tips that we can you can advise the audience that they can put in place so that they can step up or scale up the cybersecurity on their organization, on their nations, and so on.
Okay, for the audience members,
I can let you talk for me. Is it allowed?
Come again?
I'm just joking. Okay, so I think I will do a duel, as you said, final thoughts and what I think I would advise. First of all, of course, AI is very interesting, but also knowing the dark side of it is a bit scary. I would advise that we could think of designing and deploying, trusted AI application through frameworks such as NIST, AI Risk Management Framework, and also we can consider using ISO framework for AI systems for using machine learning. So these are, at least for now, the very comprehensive frameworks which can help you use AI in a so-called safe mode. Another thing I would like to call upon is to embed cybersecurity into organizational culture. The problem is that cybersecurity comes as an afterthought, so I think it is very critical that it becomes a part and parcel of the organization. It could, maybe you won't categorically mention it in the core value, but at least in the organization culture, it should be there. Another very crucial point is, now this is very high level because of time. I think it is important to deploy something we call security by design and also privacy by design in all aspects. So whatever you do for the organization, be it renewing things or getting new stuff, whatever you do, make sure you employ security by design and also privacy by design. But also, there is a very key aspect. It's called deploying a human AI partnership. I'll call upon you to come and attend the 8th TIC. I'll be presenting a very comprehensive paper on AI human partnership. And we have seen AI has the dark side, and there are some issues whereby human is human. Human is the one who made AI, and still human can manipulate AI. So it is important, if you want a concrete solution, to have a good AI-human partnership. So I call upon you to come and receive that very comprehensive paper, which will help you put in very good plans in your organizations. Far but not least, the issue of awareness and education is inevitable, but it is very important to collaborate. Always collaborate with your fellow people within the circle, but also the people within your sector, let's say it's private sector, public sector, but also not living around the regional and international community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Wangwe. Sadra. Sadra, he spoke about collaboration. So as you give your final thoughts, your final remarks, can you share your experience with us? How do you think we can collaborate better? What are the things we should consider when we want to collaborate? Something like that, collaboration.
Thank you. The way I can respond this is by giving an example of recently I was on one radio station back home, and we got a question from listeners. They were like, we have so many problems, but we don't know about these things. Yet we were telling them about cybersecurity and everything. So, but what I can say, collaboration, it's not something which is hard. And the government cannot do the work by its own. I can repeat that. Government cannot, even if it's there and it regulates and they develop policies and measures to be taken, but they cannot spread the word to the communities at large without collaboration with different entities. So it's our law, just private companies, public entities to collaborate and sit and see what we can do together And someone shared that if you go together, you will go far. I think we have to put in mind that we have to go far. We don't have to go fast. We have to go far. And if you want to go far, we have to do the collaboration. So I think just to give you some tips about what we can do as
to enhance collaboration.
Yes. Okay. I was about to give you the tips about how people can protect them online. We found that 90% people, the target, he is the one who took the decision to be attacked. 90%. The 10% is just that attack which you have no any action against it. So if you end user, you have 90% as an action taken to be attacked. So collaboration between different entities to teach our people is necessary. So I think we have to have an open framework which will allow many entities to fit in those collaborations. We touched on AI, and I can say that we have AI risk assessment framework. We help some organizations back home, and I wish we can help some other organization here about AI. AI is a tool. It's not something which is coming from heaven. And if it's a tool like a knife, you can use your knife in a bad way. You can even use it in a good way. So it's up to people to use it in a good way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the collaboration part in Tanzania, for example, we have PPP, and I think we have even the boss for it. We really encourage private, public, and partnerships. So I think collaboration is it's a way to go. Now, final thoughts from you, my brother Bruno, and as you give your final thoughts, tell us a little bit of what do you think it's a challenge that probably you see it's a challenge when it comes to collaboration, because I think in Tanzania, you know, we have PPP. We encourage collaboration between private and public. And as he mentioned very clearly, Sandra, that we can't really, the government itself cannot do everything. So we need to collaborate with other partners. So on your, as you give your final thoughts, you can share with us what do you think might be a challenge? Why do you think the government and private sector, if they can't collaborate the way you feel they should collaborate, then what do you think might be the challenge? And you can suggest also what can be done better for us to enhance that collaboration. PPP.
I think PPP is a good idea, but possible most of the people are not aware of it. So what I would suggest is for the government to find a way to make people aware of it, and by doing so, it can be easily now for different organizations, etc., to go straight to the government so that they can be able to work together. But another thing is just information sharing, which is very important. A lot of people avoid sharing the information. If you avoid sharing information, there is a difficult to do collaboration. So I would say people should be ready to share information, and this can help other people, because one learning which you are having today can help prevent others to get the same problem.
Learning from one another. Similar, like, for example, a company X can be attacked today, and same attack, same technique will happen to company Y, because there is a lack of information sharing here. Thank you very much, Bruno, for that. And from my final thoughts as well, I would say that we need to collaborate. We need to work together as a team. We must enhance the knowledge of our people. We must invest on awareness as well, so that at least we can be able to secure our digital world. We are quite connected than ever before. Things are connected than we were 10, 20 years ago. So What we have to do is to do more so that we can utilize this technology effectively. At the same time, we can be able to protect them and protect people who are using that technology. Thank you very much, my panelists. Thank you very much, Madan, for having this panel as the last one. And I think we have seen a number of panel sessions. Since morning, everyone was talking about cybersecurity, cyber attacks, to show it's very important agenda that we need to address every now and then. Thank you very much, Madan, for putting this quite interesting panel discussion. Thank you very much, my team, and I look forward to meet you again next time. Thank you.
And a big round of applause to Yusuph for putting together this fantastic panel and anchoring the entire discussion. Why don't all of you